God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mike Fuentes.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Thank you, Mike Fuentes. Mikey A is out today. Lucy is not joining us as well. She is sick, a little bit under the weather. We hope she gets better. We had a great time. What's the matter, Billy?
You share way too much information. Like, people don't need to know that Lucy has a cold. Just
I mean, people, they've come to expect on the Monday recap, they've come to expect that Lucy's going to be here, and I was just explaining why she's not going to be here.
Yeah, also selfishly, I would say, I don't want to give away the trick here, but a lot of people don't like us very much, but they do like Lucy, and they tune in for Lucy.
Right.
So if you tell them in the first 2 seconds of the podcast, Lucy's not here today, that might be the sayonara for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just got a text from Lucy. She's feeling better. She might join us in about 25 minutes.
I said that's a lie also.
She might.
That's a lie also.
Okay.
What you could do is...
Well, what was the first lie? The first lie was the truth. I mean...
But that's definitely a lie. You were not texted by Lucy, so don't tell people you were. Okay. Just maybe at the end be like, Lucy.
I was confused for a second because I'm looking out of the side of my eye, and I don't see your phone, but then you somehow get a text, and I'm like, okay.
Right after, yeah. Incredible.
Huh. Anyway, thanks to the people who came out to Joe's on Weed in Chicago yesterday. That place was packed. I was surprised how packed it was, but we had a great time, and I got to tell you, Caleb Williams looked fantastic. I know Billy has a retraction he needs to make from yesterday's event, yesterday's live show. But, Billy, we did have a good time, and thank you to Smirnoff, thank you to DraftKings, and thank you for all the folks who showed up to Joe's on Weed. It was a good time. We had a great time.
It was nice. It was Matt Forte, I thought, was a great guest also.
Yes.
So much so that I'm already kind of reaching out and being like, I want to get Matt Forte on again.
I would love to.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of fun.
Yes.
I liked it, and I liked becoming a Bears fan, Bear Down.
Yeah.
I think the highlight of my day was when Matt Forte actually referred to me as Bear Down Billy at one point in time. Which
that was great.
Just,
unlike Lucy goes to places and the team loses. Billy goes to Kansas City,
guys,
they win.
We're
Billy
hot
goes to
right
Chicago,
now.
they win.
We're hot right now. Like if we go to your town, your team at the moment is gonna win. That was a great game. Not really, but it was. Like,
if you're a Bears fan, it was great.
If it was great if you're a Bears fan. If you're just watching and you didn't really care, it was kind of boring at the end because the Bears blew them out. And I will say this.
Okay.
And I may be ruining one of our winners and losers later. We're going to get to winners and losers later, presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. We're not doing it right now. But I will say this, and I know that there's a lot of VIPs out there that are big Taylor fans. When I came in today, you know what he told me? He goes, you know what that game was for Caleb Williams? You know what he did yesterday? And I said, what? He said, he arrived.
He did. That was a big spot. It was a big game for Caleb Williams. I do think, Billy, since you're so hot, since Kansas City wins when you go to Kansas City, since the Bears win when you go to Chicago, we should have football cities who desperately need a victory bid on me and Billy coming out
services?
To your yes. We'll come out to your city, do a live show. We'll turn into fans of your football team, and you'll get a W. How about that?
We will just be professionals that you will pay for our services, and we will travel to your town.
Hired guns
to service you.
Yes,
and give your team a win.
Yes, while you're hot. Yeah, we should parlay this into money. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yen?
Yeah.
All right, good.
You guys have fun in Jacksonville.
Well, they got to win.
They got to win.
They got off the schneid.
Yeah, they don't need us.
Yeah, 1-4. Yeah.
Oh, he was so close to losing his job.
He was.
So Billy has a retraction before we get to the wonderful football weekend. It was great. I mean, from Thursday night until last night, it was one of the best football weekends I've witnessed in a long time.
Yeah, so I'd like to issue a retraction because I was very strong yesterday when we were doing the live show, the watch along in Chicago, as we mentioned. I don't know if you guys were watching, but I said very matter-of-factly, and I don't want to give excuses here, but we were watching, the main game, the Bears and the Panthers on a nice TV, and then all the other games we were watching, like on a Sunday ticket in a smaller TV.
Sure.
And then they were all kind of smaller boxes. And Josh Allen got injured yesterday, and I said very matter-of-factly, he's not hurt. You can't hurt Josh Allen. I would like to retract that. Josh Allen was clearly concussed.
Yes.
The fact that they sent Josh Allen back out there to play after that was crazy. His head banged the floor very hard.
Billy, that was after he got kneed in the head.
Yeah, well, I mean, he looked like he lost consciousness when he was knocked down, and then they gave him the smelling salts, and then he sprung right back in action, right back on the field like 3 plays later. There's a problem there. There's a problem with the protocol that he was able to go back out there that quickly.
If you're wondering what happens in the blue tent, smelling salts happen. I mean, essentially, he went into the blue tent. He came back out. He was ready to go. I mean,
I thought we had independent people involved following protocols to make sure things like that wouldn't happen, because he did not seem to be any condition to be going back out there to play.
The Dolphins got so criticized for putting Tua back in a game. I wonder if the Bills are going to get criticized.
I don't so much care about that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I saw that amongst Dolphin fans. You're like, oh, look, Josh Allen. Why is everybody complaining? I hope you guys are coming out. I hope you're saying that they should charge his coach with murder and all this. And it's okay, yeah, I guess if you want to be mad, but also Tua shouldn't have gone back out either. You know what I mean? This shouldn't be
right.
Oh, Tua should have been in if Josh can go in. It's no, neither of them should be in. Neither one should be in this situation.
The big story from that, besides Josh Allen getting hurt, the big story in that game as the Texans get the win and they move to 4-1 and the Bills are 3-2, and that sets up a game for first place with the New York Jets on Monday night. The Jets, who were lousy yesterday, they have a game in which if they win it, it will put them in first place. But the big news from that Buffalo game, Billy, I don't know if you saw because we were traveling. We had a lot to do yesterday. The Bills are tied with Houston 20-20 late in the game. The Bills get the ball in the Houston 3. They have 97 yards to go. They're trying to get into field goal range. Houston has 3 timeouts. McDermott passes the ball 3 consecutive times. They don't get a first down. They don't burn clock. They punt it back to the Texans. The Texans get a game-winning field goal. They win that game 23-20. McDermott says after the game, those decisions are on me. Well, no shit.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Of course they're on you, but I'm okay with that. The people criticizing Sean McDermott, you have one of the elite quarterbacks, and you trusting your elite quarterback in that spot, even concussed, I am good with that. I'm good with that, Billy.
Yeah.
He made the right play calls, and McDermott is getting crushed today.
I don't know about the even concussed portion of that. But
well, I mean, you're the one who said it. I didn't say it.
That game seemed destined for overtime. By the way, Stephon Diggs' revenge game. Can you call it a revenge game? And can you say that he's the winner if he only had 82 receiving yards?
I thought about this yesterday because I think we said it during the live show too. Someone revenge game.
Yeah.
There needs to be parameters for a revenge game.
No.
Yes, because if a guy gets traded, away, revenge game. If he leaves for more money, not really a revenge game.
Well, he also left kicking and screaming, right?
No,
he was asking for his way out, so it wasn't I would say
Diggs revenge game. Diggs revenge game.
There were elements of a revenge game there yesterday.
I don't know.
Well, they left on bad terms. They clearly don't like each other. I don't think they spoke a word. They hugged each other afterward. They embraced.
Tepid hug.
I'm guessing it's the last time. If they spoke a word to each other, it's the last word either will speak to each other for the remainder of time.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
It's frosty, Billy.
It's very icy between
You could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell after the game.
I would have called that more of a Josh revenge game than a Stephon Diggs revenge game because he was trying to prove that he could beat him without him.
But I think Diggs walks away saying he was the leading receiver for the Texans. He didn't have a great game, but he had a good game, and they get the win, and he's 4-1.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's 3-2. Stephon Diggs is feeling good about that.
I don't know how good the Texans are.
They're 4-1.
I know, but I
think the Bills kind of caught a break that Nico Collins got hurt that game.
I don't know how good the Bills are. I don't know how good any of these teams are.
Well, there are no good teams.
The Texans almost lost to the Jaguars last week.
Let's do it this way. Bills, good? Don't know.
I don't know.
Jury's out.
Okay. Ravens, good?
Ooh, I like that. The jury's out.
The jury's out. Ravens, good? Jury's out? Bad.
They're good. They're good now?
That should be a jury's out.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
They were bad in the beginning of the season. Now they're good. I don't know.
I said Baltimore's the best team in the NFL last week at 2-2.
I don't know that big win. I don't know that you can definitively say there's a best team in the NFL right now.
The Chiefs. The Vikings. Vikings are 5-0, Billy.
But that 5-0 is a very soft 5-0.
But it's a 5-0.
They did not look good yesterday.
They did not, but
against the Jets.
No, I know.
Who do not look good.
And if I'm going to walk away with anything positive from that Jet game, the Jets did not play that well, and they were in it to the very last second against a team that was undefeated.
Sam Darnold.
That's a revenge game.
Has been driving the struggle bus as of late.
Huh, the struggle bus.
Yeah, he's the driver
I like
at the
that.
moment. Yeah,
I like that.
and they're going to play against Detroit next week.
Billy, it's been a good 5-0. They have beaten the Giants. They have beaten San Francisco. They have beaten Houston. They've beaten Green Bay, and they beat the Jets. It's a great 5-0.
All right. I mean, you buy it if you want. I'm not.
How could you not buy that?
I'm not buying that.
Question: Are the 49ers any good?
No.
Blew a big game yesterday.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, blah, blah, blah. Brock Purdy, blah, blah, blah.
I have another.
Billy, you cannot question the 5-0 that the Vikings have put up here. The Giants are a decent team.
I can question it.
They beat the Niners, the Texans, and the Packers.
Okay. I mean, I'm questioning it.
Okay.
I mean, the Niners.
You know what? I apologize. You're right. I'd like to retract something. You can question it.
Yeah. Also, the Vikings have a bye coming up, and then they play the Lions, so they're gonna have time to.
Lions at home, though.
The rare regrouping of an undefeated team on the trip back from England.
They need the time off.
They could use it. You know, a little kumbaya.
Get things right.
Maybe go on a
healthy
team retreat together somewhere. Figure some stuff out. Even though again, no one's beat them, but they can do some figuring out at the moment.
After that, they play the Rams, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans. I mean, and your Bears. The Vikings are going to be really good. The Vikings are good. They're going to the playoffs, Billy. They might be a 1 or a 2 seed.
Yeah, but do you trust them in the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so then, I mean...
That's a different game, though. I mean,
so I don't understand. What are we playing for?
Game.
The best regular season record? What difference does that make?
It's a totally different game. Are they a good team? Is it a good 5-0? The answers to those questions are yes. Do I trust them in the playoffs? Totally different game. The answer is no.
How about the Jets, drawing the short straw here? So the Vikings come back and they have a bye week after their trip to London, and the Jets are right back at it against the Bills.
They get it on Monday, so
but
an extra day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Bills off a loss. We'll see what happens with Josh Allen. Maybe he doesn't play. I mean, he's playing.
I would think if they had him finish that game that they're not exactly gonna be holding him out after 8 days off.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I have my top 5 places that Bill Belichick might be headed to after week. What week is it?
Week 5.
After week 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a game called Toss Out the Records.
Oh, whoa! It's coming up next.
God Bless Football is presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Once again, thanks to Smirnoff for yesterday's incredible event in Chicago.
Awesome. Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we may have another one coming up soon.
All right.
Details forthcoming.
Still rocking the Bears hat, huh?
I'll bear down Billy. What am I going to do? Not wear this hat?
Yeah. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks, but the rookie quarterbacks, it's heating up.
It is.
It is. I mean,
is it? Are we ready to call this one?
I don't think we're ready to call it.
I mean, Caleb clearly is the best quarterback of the bunch, right?
I would tell you. So we have Caleb, we have Jaden Daniels, we have Drake May, who hasn't played. The mystery of Drake May is what's helping Drake May out, because we don't know if he's actually any good, and we might not know until next season.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Nix is in the mix.
Is he?
He had a good game yesterday.
Well, hold on a second. I have a question for you, a quick follow-up here. So how about J.J. McCarthy? So he also obviously has not played. He's going to miss the entire season.
Right.
Is he in this conversation as well, or is there no mystery because we know he's not going to play? And then follow-up, is he eligible to be in the mix next year with the quarterbacks that are drafted?
Huh.
Like, can he?
Drake May has played already. It was garbage time. He played, but we got to see him play. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is not going to take a snap this season.
Yeah, but is this count like a medical redshirt year for him? Like, is he eligible to be a
He's a redshirt rookie next year.
Redshirt rookie next year, yeah.
Fuentes, what do you think? Redshirt rookie for?
They do it in the NBA, so why not? Yeah.
I don't know.
What, J.J. McCarthy could still win the Rookie of the Year next year?
That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
I mean,
Sure.
all right.
In our book, our personal record book.
By the way, Bryce Young, huh?
Yeah. Garbage time.
Yeah, I don't even know what I don't
showed
get. 4 for 7 for 58 yards.
He's back.
He had like 2 plays, but good for him.
What do we think here? Because everyone is raving about Jaden Daniels. The Commanders are 4-1. Caleb played better yesterday. Caleb played great, but I'm telling you, Billy, did you see Bo Nix's game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's in the top 2 rookie quarterbacks at the moment.
Really?
You think he is?
I mean, the way he played yesterday, if that's going to continue, he has a shot. Like, it was really good.
Who's he better than between Caleb and Jaden?
He's better than May.
Okay, then he's not in the top two. We were saying top two quarterback.
He was 19 of 27, 208, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he ran for another touchdown. So 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Listen, he's playing well. He's playing better than we expected. And sometimes because expectations mean a lot, there were no expectations for Bo Nix. There were serious expectations for Caleb, for Jaden Daniels, and for Drake May. Bo Nix had next to no expectations, at least as far as I'm concerned, and he's exceeded them. So he's in the mix.
He's exceeded no expectations.
Yeah.
He also has the best defense, but he also came in with like not really any weapons compared to
Correct.
Caleb Williams, who they gave him the world.
Yes.
Like, and his weapons are great. Like Bo Nix had the opposite of that.
Yeah.
3-game win streak. First Denver QB to ever have a 3-game win streak as a rookie.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as also the Raiders.
Just
I mean, not to,
I know, but we don't know if anyone's good. You got to go play football. Like,
well, they played.
I know the Raiders are bad.
I know, but I'm sitting here telling you I don't know if the Chiefs are good. And so, I mean, what is he supposed to do?
So they play the Chargers next. I think that, the jury may be out on the Chargers still.
Jury's out.
Too, right?
Yeah, the jury's out. Yeah.
And then
if you're 2-2, the jury's out. Unless you're the Ravens, you're the best team in the NFL.
Hold on a second.
It's crazy.
We haven't talked about toss out the records.
I love football.
We haven't said toss out the records yet. That's later.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know, unless you just want to play it right now.
I do want to play it now. I do.
All right,
I want to
guys.
toss out the record. We'll get to college in a second. Vanderbilt with a big upset. We know. We realize.
The Commodores.
Yes. By the way, stop storming the field when you beat mediocre teams. Anyway, let's play what?
You're not talking about Vanderbilt.
Yeah, you must be talking about
Vanderbilt, they had legitimate reasons to storm the field.
We needed like a semicolon or something there. Like that was like a very like.
I said when you beat mediocre teams, Alabama's not a mediocre team. Yeah. USC and Michigan, mediocre teams.
But you
put it
understand
right next to.
You get why there could be the confusion, right?
Yes.
Because they won, big upset, they stormed the field, and then you said, by the way, stop storming the field when you beat mediocre teams.
When you beat USC, who has 1 loss and is the 12th ranked team in the country, you don't storm the field after beating USC. You don't do it. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's throw out the records.
All right. So this is how this game works.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, throw out the records so you forget about the records. And then you tell me if you believe that this team is going to make the playoffs or good enough to make the playoffs.
So we throw out the record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this a good team? Don't worry about the records. Is this a good team?
Okay.
So like, okay, here.
No, I'm going to throw out the record. I like that. I love throwing out records.
All right. So here's my first example. Throw out the records. Cincinnati Bengals.
Are they good? Are they a playoff team?
Yeah. Don't look at their record. Don't worry about that.
I know the record's 1-4, but I'm going to throw it out.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals make the playoffs.
Do they?
I also think the Bengals, if they lose one more game and they're 1-5, potential destination for Bill Belichick.
Well, I mean, if they lose one more game, they're 0-1 because you threw out the records.
Oh, that's right. So they'd be 0-1. Bad start.
Yeah. This seems like it was a better idea in my head.
No, it's a good idea. I like it.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Rough start, just like the Bengals.
But Joe Burrow
very good.
Turned it around.
The offense, not the problem.
Burrow was great in that game yesterday. He had that terrible interception towards the end of the game, which perhaps cost the team the game, but Joe Burrow's great.
Okay, how about this one? Throw out the records, and we're not going to go far. We're going to stay in the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Are they a playoff team?
Yeah. How about this? It's throw out the records / do you have faith in them?
I have faith in Mike Tomlin, yes.
Oh.
It's hard not to have faith in Mike Tomlin.
I mean,
never had a losing record.
But I guess then we should add an addendum to that, which is what does even have faith in them mean, right? Like, I guess you can kind of see the way I'm going. I do not believe in this team at all.
Well, I believe they can go to the playoffs and lose in the first round.
Yeah, so is that good?
I mean, it's the playoffs.
Well, you're not asking me if they're good. You're asking me if I have faith in them.
Yeah, listen, this is a confusing game. It's definitely
I don't think Tomlin cares, by the way. He just wants to make the playoffs.
He just wants to have a winning record.
Just wants to have a winning record.
Which, don't look now. Different game. Don't look now.
Right.
We said very early on, and I think I said, so you could blame me. I said 3-0. It's going to be hard to blow a 3-0 start and finish with a losing record, but we're on our way.
Yeah.
We're on our way to putting that in jeopardy.
Maybe Russell Wilson's on the way.
Sunday Night Football, you were talking all week.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that game's over, but we could get back to it if you want.
There are other teams that you...
Yeah, we can get back to it.
I want to get back to it.
Sunday Night Football, You were saying all week, Cowboys, Steelers. Oh, finally, this match. I love this match. This is great. And I very much was like, ooh, I'm not looking forward to that game at all. And then we got on our flight, and the flight was like perfectly aligned. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch. I don't want to watch it, but I'm gonna watch it. What else am I gonna watch? And then we got on a plane. I didn't even know this existed anymore. We got on a plane that still physically had screens in the back of the seats, which I haven't seen on an American Airlines flight in forever. It's basically like, use your own tablet, use your own phone, use your own whatever, right?
Yeah, JetBlue started it.
Yeah, well, no, but like American used to have these like on all their planes, and they've gotten rid of them, and now you
transition to like you turn on their free Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
and then you stream it on your own device through their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I went United on the way home from Chicago, and there were screens on the back of my seat, but it's not television screens. It's like a screen in
They're
which
like
you can
tablets.
watch. Yeah, it's like a tablet.
Yeah, so like American
Netflix option, you know?
Americans gotten rid of these on most of the flights I've been on, anyways. So I was surprised to see them also clutch the complimentary headphones, because I forgot my headphones and I forgot like my Bluetooth ones, and then my phone obviously is like an iPhone, so you need like an attachment for regular headphones. It's a whole thing, and I looked like a crazy person. Like I looked like I was a member of Secret Service because I was gonna buy headphones in the airport, but I didn't because they were like way too expensive.
Yes.
So like on the way up there, I was just using my IFB. So like I was using like the earpiece. So I looked like I was like a member of the Secret Service because I had like the weird like thing over because I brought it just in case we needed it for the show. And then I had like an earpiece in, and I was so self-conscious about it that I like put the hood for my hoodie on over my head so no one would even see it. I did what I had to do.
To be fair,
Okay?
if I saw a guy wearing an earpiece with a hoodie on an airplane, I'd be terrified.
I know.
I would feel better.
Yeah,
No,
you feel
well,
better?
No, I would feel like I have someone
An
who
agent.
knows what to do in these situations in the
So-
event one of these situations arises. I would
was-
feel better, yeah.
I was very
In fact, I think you should do it on every flight,
Yes,
just for my comfort.
So here's the thing.
Calm to the
I was very self-conscious, but like this is what I'm working with, and I just have like this one thing with like the little squiggly thing like in my ear. I was very self-conscious about it because I'm like, people are gonna think that like I'm up to something nefarious, right? And then on the flip side, I was like, or they're gonna think I'm like a U.S. Marshal. So like everyone better be on their best behavior for two fronts here, because if something goes wrong, I'm gonna get blamed. And if something goes wrong and I'm not getting blamed, I'm going to be the person they turn to solve this problem.
That'd be so great. They turn to Billy. He does nothing.
Yeah, like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, they start pointing at you. You're like,
The other passengers are like, no, we got an agent. We're
not
good.
not my fight. I'm out of this one.
Not
Sorry.
my fight.
Someone else handled the
I know
situation.
I threw you off with the headsets and the FBI jacket.
I'm just watching Sunday Night Football,
Exactly
guys.
right.
I'm just watching Sunday Night Football. Sorry.
We should get Billy a fake FBI
No,
jacket.
I'm wearing like the hoodie that says FBI, but like
Without
if you
the
look close, it says like
female
female body
body
inspector for
Or-
like New York in like 2003.
Or without the dot on the I, just to keep you out of harm's way. Any legalities.
Anywho, so on the way back, I was like, at first I was like, no, I don't need it because I'm like, I have it. I'm like, no, I need it. I can't go through that again, because on top of that, it's like in your ear and it feels like you have a Q-tip in your ear the whole time. It's like super uncomfortable. So anyway,
Yeah.
what were we talking about?
We were talking about the
Oh, yeah,
Dallas
Sunday Night
Pittsburgh games.
Football,
Did it
yeah.
live up to my expectation? It did. Seeing those two teams on the field just feels right. It seems right. But a weird thing happened to us because I got on the plane also, and I was like, wait a second. Are we in a different time zone? Which we were,
Yeah.
but we were just 1 hour back, not 3 hours back. And like the game was in the second quarter, and it was like 9:30 at night.
Well, so we got lucky in that it was our flight was delayed and the game was delayed, so it kind of matched up almost perfectly. So the game started like when we got in, but because they had those screens, they didn't have like, or at least I couldn't figure out the live TV option. So you had to use like another device to watch the game.
right.
And I had it on my phone, but the game started out rough. It was not. It ended up being a good game at the end. Game started out a little bit rough, and it was like a second screen situation for me for most of it. Where I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean on the first. I've never seen it.
Really?
First
The
time
original
watching-
Pirates?
Yeah, first
No way.
first time I saw
Jack
Pirates.
Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good little movie.
It's a very good movie.
Should do a second one.
Buccaneers.
There's
win.
more. Trust
What?
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had it on like as my second screen situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That game was bad until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was 10-6, I think, headed into the fourth, and then they scored 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys scoring 2, the Steelers scoring 1. Did you see the old stare down with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott on the sideline?
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit overblown.
Well, it was the rare stare down where one guy was staring.
Well, it was like, he said like jump ball, whatever. So it wasn't like as serious, I don't think. By the way, throughout the records, Dallas Cowboys.
pretty much just Dak and CD and Jake Ferguson. That's it.
It's enough to make the playoffs.
The Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. I think.
Yeah, but
Cowboys-
the Commanders are going to win the division. That's crazy.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, they're going to win.
And the Giants are back in the mix.
Cowboys are in that purgatory, right, where they're just always going to be the Cowboys. They're just always going to be this.
I mean, they're 3-2 in a division.
No,
that's
you threw out the records. They're 0-0.
You're right. So 0-0. That changes everything.
Now they want to know now.
Well, that means Washington is also 0-0.
No, we tossed out
we
yesterday's
tossed
win.
out-
Yeah, that's gone.
So when I toss out Dallas's record, do I
Yeah.
also toss out Washington's record?
Correct.
I have the Cowboys winning the NFC East.
Who would you? Wow, head to head, you'd have the Cowboys beating the Commanders right now.
I think the Cowboys are a better team than Washington. This sounds like if the season started today.
The Washington Commanders offense right now seems to be historic,
It's really good.
which is a crazy sentence to say out loud.
Yes.
They're so good right now.
I'm checking out.
They're so efficient.
He's so efficient. Jaden Daniels. I'm checking out the team offensively. I think Washington has the best offense in the NFL.
Okay, how about this? Toss out the records. Okay, and this is a test for you. Minnesota Vikings.
That team's really good, man. Defense is really good.
The defense is really good.
So the Commanders, by the way, just offensively, they're 5th in the NFL, behind the Packers, Lions, Niners, and Ravens. They're good. Who am I tossing out the records of?
The Vikings, but you think they're really good. Toss out the records. The San Francisco 49ers.
I don't think the Niners. I think they'll make the playoffs. They will not make a deep run into the playoffs.
Too hurt?
McCaffrey hurt. They're hurt. I'm not a big believer in Brock Purdy. I'm just not.
Interesting.
I think Christian McCaffrey covers a lot of offensive holes, and he not being there is a much bigger impact than we think.
That is just, I said it yesterday, and I don't know how many people were watching, probably not many. I do believe that Kyle Shanahan should be charged with fraud. He defrauded a country. He knew Christian McCaffrey was hurt. Right. He knew that it was a severe injury, and he allowed everyone, myself included. So if there's a class action lawsuit, I will be a part of it. He allowed everyone to go on, and this is strictly fantasy. I will be completely honest with you.
I'll charge him. I'll charge him with fraud as a coach. I mean,
this is a strictly fantasy-based
he's overrated.
Charging, but he defrauded an entire nation and internationally, an internation. He defrauded an entire internation by allowing people to draft Christian McCaffrey in the first round with the first draft or the first pick, which is what I did, and he is not going to play this season. Like, it seems pretty evident he's not going to play, or he's going to come back very late in the season. The rare injury that he has in one leg that somehow also jumps to the other leg, which I don't even understand how that works. As a child, I sang the song where the knee bone's connected to the hip bone and the thigh bone and this bone and that bone, and the knees were never connected, so I don't understand how one injury jumps from one leg to the other. I don't get it. I don't think that there's any way that makes any sense, but we're going to Germany to figure it out because they know how the injuries jump from one side to the other. And
they know how to stop the injuries.
Is he
from
back?
jumping.
Did he go to Germany? Can we get is there like a German HIPAA? Like, what's going on here? Can they give us some information on what's going on with this trip to Germany?
You want me to Google, is Christian McCaffrey still in Germany?
Yeah, like someone figure out he was going to Germany. He's coming back. Like, is he back from Germany? Like, what's going on here? Someone tell me.
He had like a day trip to Germany because he was back that same week.
A day trip to Germany sounds terrible.
Well, when you're on
like,
the PJ.
I'm sure Germany is very delightful. A day trip to Germany sounds horrific.
Yeah.
Why would you fly to? I don't think you can even do a day trip.
Yes,
to
you
Germany.
can. In a private jet, you can.
You got
But
a private jet, you can do it.
No,
Billy,
but time-wise, like, it takes you how many
why
hours?
are you
does it take
getting
to-
so outraged? I'm just trying to explain it to
because
you.
he's going from California to Germany.
I know.
He's probably flying what? Like 9-10 hours, right?
I mean,
At least.
I'll check.
And then, like,
why am I checking this?
I'm assuming that he doesn't have to wait, because I was going to say, then you get to the doctor's office and you have to
There's
wait.
no line for him, Billy, and it's not a doctor's office.
I don't know. Like, I get that in America, right? But like in Germany, Christian McCaffrey, I don't think has the same pull that he has in America. In Germany, like, you go and you sit in the doctor's office and they're like,
I have a feeling.
Who's this guy?
I have a feeling any NFL franchise can do anything they want. Like if they have enough money, they but I would put the doctor on the plane.
So nonstop.
I'm kind of with you. Why can't they fly the German
I'd fly the
doctor over
doctor
here?
over,
Fly the
yeah.
German doctor over here, have the German doctor examine him, and then you fly over there to do whatever
You have
crazy procedures
You
going
have
on.
to be
German
in their country.
No,
I mean, you
no.
can't
Not
do
to
it
see
here.
the doctor.
Listen,
to get the actual procedure done.
Yeah, the
though.
consultation.
Oh, just
here.
the consultation should be
consultation's
right.
here.
The doctor should come to him. It's 11 hours, by the way, direct. So maybe Billy's right.
Yeah,
I'm just 11 hours plus
You
11
can't
hours,
make a day
22.
trip, right.
It's hard. It takes more than
I'll
a
tell you
day.
right now, the German doctor's coming to me because I'm an NFL franchise.
Do you go twice if you're him? Like, I
don't
feel
know.
like you just go and you receive the treatment, right? Like,
I think someone says, hey, this is who you go to. This is why you're going. It takes a couple of hours, then you're back.
do you go like German doctor hopping also, right? Where you're like, I'm going to take a second consultation but
No.
like with another German doctor.
I think there's a specific doctor who takes care
There's
of all
one
this.
German doctor.
It's like Dr. James Andrews, but in Germany, you know?
Uh-huh.
And by the way, when you have injuries jumping from one body part to another, you hop on a bird and do what you have to do. I mean, it's a dangerous game.
the private bird.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't be hopping at all. His friggin' injuries are hopping. I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Anyways, we
So
mentioned-
we're charging Shanahan, just so we're clear and we can put a bow on this, we are charging Shanahan with 2 counts of fraud.
Yeah, I think 2 counts is
Okay.
fine, 1 per knee.
Yeah, one
And
per-
one for a
yeah.
coach, right?
But look, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not sure how it happens. But if he defrauded millions of people, then it could be millions of counts of fraud, right? Like it's per person that he defrauded.
Also, Niner fans can join us in this crusade.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
everyone
right.
can in all the internations because he defrauded people internationally. Fantasy specific. I mean, in reality, he defrauded people, but fantasy specific. Also, speaking of fantasy, because someone mentioned fantasy here, I don't know who it was that mentioned fantasy. Our fantasy contest is presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. A nice little bounce back week for Billy Gill.
Yeah, you placed.
I placed 130 something, but it's a climb back. It's a climb back. We started at 5, and then we went down into like the 200s, and then we really fell into the 600s, and then we made it back into the 300s, and this past week into the 130s, which was very exciting. I myself didn't place. You know who did place? Mike Ye placed.
He did.
He placed 18th and he won $75.
Yep.
So nice little weekend for Mike Ye. He had his football weekend. That's why he wasn't able to join us this past weekend in Chicago. That's why he wasn't able to join us here today. He had his football weekend where he went to Thursday Night Football, then he went to a Georgia game. Now he's slowly making his way back to Connecticut. I don't know why it takes him so long to get back. I mean, these games were on Thursday and Saturday. He's still not home.
Right.
Regardless.
You're questioning Mikey A's.
No, I'm not questioning anything. I'm just saying maybe he went on foot or I don't know what he took the railroad. I don't know how he got there.
Right.
It's taken him 3 days to return home, but he's on his way back home.
Yeah.
And the little cherry on top, he placed in our fantasy contest, DraftKings fantasy contest, dkng.co/Smirnoff if you want to participate against us. And he won $75.
I finished 58th. Now,
Wow, just outside the money.
well, listen, I had Brian Thomas, I had Jamar Chase, and I had Kraft, and I still didn't win the thing.
Yeah.
I had the Packers tight end who had a monster game.
You have to win.
You want to know why I lost? I
Why?
took the Dolphins quarterback.
Well, that was ridiculous.
Well, I
don't
was
know why
trying
you
to be
would do
cute
that.
because I was trying to be cute because no one else was going to take him, and I took him hoping he would have a big game, and he didn't.
I took Flacco, and
Flacco was a problem.
Flacco carried me, and why I didn't end up in the money was because I dropped all of the Colts receivers that scored points in exchange for Josh Downs, who Tony convinced me was the missing piece that I needed. So that's how you win these games. Is
Yes.
you win, honestly, you win on the cheap players. You have
do.
to guess the right cheap player that week.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Winners or losers? Next.
You want to play a game of winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka? Please
I
drink
would love
responsibly.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so this is how this game works for those of you who are new to the program here. It's called Winners and Losers, presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Yeah.
And I will give you winners and losers from this past weekend.
Wow.
And then in it, Stugotz, Mike Fuentes, they also can give you winners and losers from this past weekend.
But these winners or losers are not supposed to be debated. They're your winners, your losers. Like, we're not supposed to question them, right?
You can question them if you'd like to.
Okay.
It's not necessary.
Not to be
question.
debated, to be discussed.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're good today. You're sharp. I like you on 3 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start out with, normally I start out with winners. I'm going to start out with losers this week.
Okay.
This week's losers top 10 teams in college football, losers.
A lot of them lost. Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically, by the numbers, more of them actually won than lost, but rare is the weekend when the number 1 loses, the number 4 loses, the number 9 loses, the number 10 loses, and just outside of the top 10, the number 11 team loses. Also, the number 8 team should have lost, but that is a story for another day. Right now, Miami is playing with extra men on the field every single game. They have the entire weight of the ACC officiating review.
They're wearing black and white jerseys.
It's just,
I said it.
It's okay. You're not wrong.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
Yep. They should have lost 2 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, season, arguably, they could be out of the top 25. But instead, not the way that it works, because ACC is just maybe coddling Miami just a little bit, and now they're the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah.
In what some say is an off year for the ACC, because Clemson seemingly fell off, but they've recovered.
Clemson is back in the playoff hunt.
Back in the top 10. Right now, they're
ranked 10th.
Yeah.
Yes.
And climbing fast.
Yes.
They're going to be a problem for Miami at the end of the year. Miami just and I don't want to sound biased here. I don't want to sound like a University of Miami hater, if you will, but they've played no one, and they should have lost the last 2 games. And
no one.
They got some extra help from the officials.
Yep.
And now they play Louisville, who also has fallen off, and Florida State is just a joke of a program. I don't know why it even exists anymore. That's just a disaster. Duke might be a threat. Georgia Tech beat them last year. Wake is whatever. And then
that game's
Syracuse.
at Georgia Tech, and then they have a game at Syracuse. And I'm telling you, Syracuse is 5-1. They should be 6-0. They're really good.
Yeah.
They have only because that game's being played at Syracuse, combined with the Canes struggling against Virginia Tech and Cal, Syracuse could upset Miami.
We're saying, by the way, struggling when they have in reality had 2 great comebacks. And Cam Ward has looked really good in leading the Miami Hurricanes back to win the last 2 games.
Yes.
So much so that I think both of those games, people tuned out and didn't even see that Miami came back, and then the next day, woke up or whatever, like, oh,
yeah,
how did this happen?
Well, I was one of them.
Yeah.
Canes were down 25 to Cal.
Yeah.
That game started at 10:30 at night.
Listen, to their credit, they came back and they won. Now, they benefited from a clear targeting call that was not called, that would have kept the drive alive for Cal and would have allowed them to run out the clock. And because it wasn't called, then Miami gets the ball back, they end up taking the lead, and they end up winning the game. This is something I don't understand. And I got the Virginia Tech call. I got how you could argue that was not a catch. I got that you could. I
don't get the call. Actually, I did not get the call at the time, and I'll say it again. They ruled it a catch. You can't reverse the call once you ruled it a catch.
I more so, I will say, I understood the gripe of Miami fans, I didn't understand why that was ever called a catch to begin with, right? So I understood why that one is yeah, there wasn't clear evidence, but also, why did they ever call that a catch? The ball popped out immediately, and if you weren't watching that in super slow motion, the ball was not even possessed for a second. In slow motion, it's like, oh, look, he possessed it, and then it came out, and it's like, yeah, but you're doing a frame per minute at this speed. This video is barely moving. That's why it looks like he's held it.
But the referees made a mistake by calling it a touchdown on the field. What you do once you've made that mistake is you don't compound it with another mistake.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. I mean, that one probably ended up working out the way that it should have, even though video review.
All right.
Now, this one, I don't understand the gripe at all. I don't understand how you can argue that wasn't targeting. It was very clear, leading with your head into someone else's head. I don't understand how that was reviewed. And nah.
Listen, the shoulder caught him first. Okay, it looked bad on camera, which I understand. But
it looked great in person. You weren't there. What are you talking about?
I'm also saying I'm tired of the quarterbacks getting to play a different game. I really am tired of that. This guy's running. He's a runner. He doesn't try to slide. Doesn't do anything. He took a big hit. It's not the.
Yeah, but targeting is targeting, man.
But I didn't think it was targeting. The shoulder hits first.
You're a homer.
Shoulder hits first. It looks worse than it was.
Homer.
No, but I also said that it was a stupid play from Besainth. Because you know how they officiate quarterbacks, and if you're going to go launching at a guy like that, you're going to open yourself up for targeting.
Yeah.
Just wrap the guy up and take him down. He's not going to run away from you.
I mean, you open yourself up for targeting. I'm not saying that's necessarily a strategy, but
he put
it's kind of like when you toss a ball out there, and then you hope for if he catches it, great. But if not, we got a little DPI, and we get the yards anyways.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, that was not. I don't know why we're talking about this game so much.
We're getting bogged down on.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, Cal, who cares? Whatever. Not a big deal. Bama, surprising. Bama comes off of one of the greatest college football games in recent memory to then lay an egg.
So
I
loser.
forgot the egg sound that we made. It wasn't the fart. It was like a bloop.
No,
yeah,
bloop,
that was it.
blop.
So Bama's a loser.
Yeah, the
You're
top
doing
10
winners
teams.
or losers. Yeah.
No, I know. We're
All
doing
right,
winners
good.
and losers
Yeah.
presented by Smirnoff.
I just wanted to
World's
make sure,
number one
that's all.
vodka. Please
Oh.
drink responsibly.
Very broad loser. Yeah.
Well, they fell to number 7 in the country.
Well,
They
but-
can still make the playoff, but
Yeah, that's one of those that they fall enough to climb right back into it.
I can tell you a big winner
Yeah.
since you brought up Alabama.
Number 7, by the way,
Yeah.
they've fallen enough, and Georgia is still ahead of them. Where if we get Georgia Bama again in like the SEC championship game, they could still both make the playoff.
Georgia has a matchup with Texas coming up in not this weekend, but the following.
Okay,
weekend.
how about
that's going to
this?
be interesting.
I have a question for you guys.
I had a winner.
So let's say no, I know, but I don't want to get away from Georgia and Alabama too quickly.
Well, my winner was Nick Saban, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so my question is this. Let's say Georgia goes on a run and they win all of the remaining games of the season, as does Alabama, and other teams lose, but they keep climbing, and we get a situation where it's like Georgia at like 2 or 3 and Alabama at like 4, right? Because other teams have lost or whatever. And then you have Georgia play Alabama in the SEC championship game, and Alabama wins again. Could you put Georgia in the playoff with 2 losses to the same team?
Wow. So if that played out, Billy, they will have beaten Clemson, lost to Alabama twice, but they have also, if it plays out, it means they have beaten Texas, who is the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
They have beaten Ole Miss. They have beaten Tennessee. So they beat Tennessee. They beat Mississippi. They beat Texas. They beat Clemson. They lose to Alabama twice.
Can you lose to the same team twice, not win your conference championship, and still make the playoffs?
I would say if there's a team that can do it, it's Georgia.
Yeah.
Just because the committee's going to want Georgia in.
It's also like an SEC thing. Like SEC's so good, you have a lot of big SEC wins, even though you lost to Alabama twice.
But you're gonna have, but you're then setting up for a potential 3rd game
That's okay.
that one team has lost twice already.
I mean, the first game was pretty good.
yeah, but
and they're gonna be like, man, these 2 games got huge ratings. We can get a 3rd.
Yeah, but it's not a rubber match. You know what I mean? I like a good rubber match.
That's
Right.
That's a good point.
It's not. It's a revenge game. Is it?
Yeah, but you're 0-2. You already
So
lost
what
the
happens
best of
if
3.
Georgia beats Alabama in the playoffs? Doesn't Alabama say, "Hey, but we played them 3 times. We beat them twice"?
That's what I'm saying.
This is crazy.
How that works?
And we're
though.
the conference champions.
I think if Alabama wins the national championship, they should have to play one more game against Vanderbilt.
What?
Transitive property. He's right. He's right. You got to beat.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, if you
An
beat,
idea.
also if you're unranked and you beat Alabama or Georgia, automatic bid.
You're proud of yourself. You love these.
You don't like that?
So Nick Saban was a big winner for you?
Well, yeah, he would never lose that game.
Yeah.
He would never succumb to a letdown spot. That's what Caleb DeBoer did. They beat Georgia last week, let down against Vandy at Vandy. Do you know the score of the games the last 3 times Alabama has played Vanderbilt?
Well, they hadn't beaten them in like 70 years or something.
The last time they beat him was in 1984.
It's funny how
Billy
it's-
wasn't born yet.
Yeah, not exactly 70 years. You know what's funny is how we are a week removed from everyone talking about how Caleb DeBoer was the perfect hire and how it was like, wow, this guy just came in, seamless transition. He just got right back in there. The perfect hire, the perfect move, lose to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up these scores here because it's amazing.
Missouri's done. We can agree on that.
Yeah, they're done.
Missouri is out of it, and with Missouri being out of it, and because Texas A&M won by such a large margin, are they sneaking their way right back into the mix?
Yeah.
They moved up 10 spots with that win.
Last 3 times that Alabama played Vanderbilt, the combined score was 148-3.
So I have some teams that I can definitively tell you are out of it.
Yeah.
Number 1, Michigan,
Done.
way out.
Wow.
USC, done.
way out.
They're not even in the top 25 anymore.
They're done. Michigan's done.
Michigan's sitting at 24. They dropped 14 spots.
Yes.
USC's out of it.
USC no
Done.
longer in the top 25.
Yeah.
Missouri's out of
Missouri has dropped 12 spots.
it. Yeah, but they're out of it.
They're out of it.
Only 1 loss and they're out.
They're not gonna. Yeah,
They're out.
Missouri's not gonna come back in. That's just like okay.
You have to, Mike, you have to do it. Like, think about the committee. It's Missouri. No one cares if Missouri makes it.
Yeah.
And they have a loss, and it was a bad loss to Texas A&M.
Because Missouri's not even going to be like look at the scrappy underdog that we can root for, because now they need to include someone else.
No French team. Yeah.
Exactly. They're not going to be that team.
Plus, you have a non-power 5 who makes
That's
the playoffs.
what I'm saying.
That's a scrappy underdog.
That's the scrappy underdog that's going to get in. It's not going to be Missouri.
Yes.
If Missouri was undefeated, different story, obviously.
Fuentes, is Clemson in?
They're going to beat Miami. They're going to beat Miami in the ACC championship. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Don't look now. Indiana 6-0.
They are 6-0. Iowa State's good too.
I tried to tell you guys to keep an eye on it.
BYU.
But here's the thing. So I'm just looking at the AP poll, okay?
By the way, thank you for your service, also Armed Services.
They have a good chance. That Army-Navy game is going to be legendary. So I am looking at the AP poll right now. I'll do the coaches poll. It doesn't matter. You have Iowa State making the playoffs, and they would play. So I think the 1 seed gets a bye. Like, you're like an Iowa State versus Ohio State. They're going to get killed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe in the 12-team playoff until one of these 12 seeds or 11th ranked team they make it to a championship game. Otherwise, it's all for show and money.
It's just fodder for
top. That's all it is.
Just to put a bow on this situation and wrap up winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Yeah.
My remaining winners are the Commanders.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels.
Big winner.
Big winners.
Yep.
Also, they took a commanding win this weekend, and right now, looking pretty good in the NFC East. Another winner, the Bears.
They're just a game up, but yes.
Caleb Williams has arrived.
Caleb Williams, listen, Caleb Williams for the first time, and I don't care that it was Carolina, he looked better than Jaden Daniels. He did. Yesterday, he looked better than Jaden Daniels.
Well, one of my losers, and here's my other loser to wrap up winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. Deshaun Watson loses to Jaden Daniels, 15 of 28, 125 yards, 8.5 QBR rating and a fumble.
He's the worst quarterback in the NFL.
It's a rough situation if you're a Browns fan, because they're stuck with him.
Stefanski wanted to go for it late in the game on 4th down, and Deshaun Watson just walked off the field.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
Stefanski has been the 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. 2-time Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to go for it on 4th and inches, and his quarterback walked off the field.
Yep. That was it. That was winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
All right, we have a big Monday Night Football game tonight. We have the Saints and the Chiefs. More football. Oh, my God. What a great weekend it was, and it continues tonight with the Chiefs and the Saints. And, of course, that means BBBBBBB brought to you by nobody.
Yeah. Billy's Big Board Bets brought to you by, and we're still waiting on our sponsor, but we'll get one eventually. These are picks that if I was in a DraftKings state, I would be so inclined to make. And I have 3 of them this week. Last week, because of a doubleheader, I went 4-2, bringing my record to 11-7 on the season.
I thought you were asking me.
No, I'm telling you.
Like, I'm keeping track. It came in the form of a question, I have to be honest.
11-7 on the season, not too shabby.
No, not
so
bad.
It's starting to look pretty good.
By the way, 5-0, Stugotz. We did that on Friday's episode of God Bless Football, and I took the Chiefs tonight. How about that? Yes.
All right, so my first pick of the week, Travis Kelce over 5.5 receptions.
Like it.
His high on the season is 7 last week. He hasn't come close to going over 5.5 in any other game. But as pointed out with Rashee Rice out, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to go to all reliable, and he's going to be feeding Travis Kelce this game.
I'm taking it.
So over 5.5 receptions. My second pick on the week is Patrick Mahomes. I wrote under, but I mean over 18.5 rushing yards.
Let's be clear to the audience. Billy is taking Mahomes over 18 and a half yards rushing in tonight's game.
Yeah. Okay. Also over 18.5 passing, if you could find that anywhere, but over 18.5 rushing yards on the game. Now, here's something that
you would have to lay $100,000 to win $1 on over 18.5.
Minus 50,000. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're able to find it somewhere, I would take over 18.5 passing as well.
If you can find it, right.
I
like that. I like that as a new segment. If you could find this bet anywhere, take it. Right.
Yeah. Yes. So last week, Patrick Mahomes had the over in rushing yards and ended up getting the under because of victory formation. He lost like 15 yards on like the last 3 plays.
Oh, I hate that.
So that's not ideal. But I'm going to have him. I'm going to have faith in him. I'm going to say over 18.5 yards. And here's my final one. And this is what I like to call hedging. I'm going to take the Saints plus 5.5 in this game. We've been saying that something seems to be off in Kansas City. I don't think that they're going to lose the game, but I feel like maybe they have a close one while they figure out what to do.
That's all they do is win close football games. It is.
Yeah.
I think they've won their first 4 games by a combined 22 points or something. I like your bets this week, Billy.
Hey, thank you. I
do.
appreciate that.
Especially the Mahomes over 18.5 yards passing.
Victory formation is what has me most concerned. Oh, yeah, no, that one's a lock. Over 18.5 passing. If you can find it.
If you can find it. Disclaimer,
lock.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good luck finding it.
Yeah.
And if you find it, let me and Billy know about
send it to us,
Yeah.
please.
If you find it, bet the House of Representatives.
God bless football, everyone.